Chapter 7 McCarthy Park.
I feel like we shouldn't be wearing these suits,
Sam said bitterly.
They're so limiting. I don't believe they represent what we stand for.
Well, that's quite obvious, Dan grimaced. It took you 20 years to come to that conclusion.
Shut up, Dan, I'm just letting out the truth.
We have to work with what we have. Everyone here does, Graham added. Let's not forget that. The sun was still hours away from setting when they arrived at McCarthy Park. The massive water tower in the center of the park had changed slightly since the last time they saw it, the only difference being the abundance of words written on it with permanent markers. Some called the words graffiti, some called the words stains, and some called the words art. But the people who actually wrote the words called them stamps. The Suda trio had seen these so-called stamps all over MOREAU. As a matter of fact, they had seen them around since the first time they came to the city 20 years ago. No one needed to tell them that stamps were written by teenagers that came of age and accepted or rejected their journey into adulthood. All three men felt that truth just by reading them, and they knew the names of everyone that wrote each stamp without ever having met them. Graham read a few with his colleagues. I have a feeling these are the last stamps MOREAU will ever have. The internet will be the place for the youth to express their angst. It will be the place for everyone to express their angst, Dan corrected. They better brace themselves for a strange time.
Take a look at those two,
Sam pointed.
They're from Leon's granddaughter and Jack's grandson.
Honest words, Graham observed. I wonder what they would have written before their experiences at Blitzhart Road.
You wonder or you know?
Does it matter? Dan folded his arms. Everyone changes their outlook on life as time goes by, even us. Don't you agree, Sam? Sam raised an eyebrow.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's supposed to mean what it sounds like.
You're not going to change my mind with common proverbs.
It was worth a shot. Graham grabbed both their shoulders. Will you rascals poise up? Our youngest invitee of the day is literally across the tower from us. They fixed their suits and strode around the water tower to an 18-year-old boy reading stamps. He had messy blonde hair, just like he did when they had seen him a decade ago. His slim build and sensitive eyes did not do justice to his natural durability, and his overall appearance didn't accurately represent his overall maturity.
Excuse us,
Dan announced calmly. Do you mind if we ask why you're reading these stamps in particular? The boy was clearly surprised by his accent and their fancy clothes. Just curious, I guess. Maybe a little envy as well, Graham smirked. Yeah, that too, the boy admitted sheepishly. I mean, I feel like I should have been a part of this stamping. I recently graduated and all. Not in MOREAU, though. I went to school in a different city.
You have much to say,
Sam said solemnly.
With no one to listen. That's where you're wrong, Seymour.
The boy blinked, studying them curiously.
Did we meet before? Not formally, but we have crossed paths in the past.
Seymour suddenly remembered the moment he saw the trio conversing with the park director years ago.
Wait, I remember now. You guys were talking to Mr. Salazar right here by this tower when I was a little kid. And he told us how gifted you are with solving puzzles. Yeah.
Dan nodded with folded hands. But he didn't tell us how terrified you were about your parents and your home life. Of course, he had no idea. You were great at keeping it a secret at the time, but not from us. Seymour's heart dropped. We know a lot more than that, but don't be frightened. Follow us. He hesitated, then followed the suited strangers to the other side of the water tower. Graham pointed at one of the stamps he read earlier. These words right here came from Pierce Hall, your best friend. Seymour was at a loss for words as he read those words. You haven't seen him since you were 10 years old. You actually plan on visiting him tomorrow. Sam jerked his chin at the park's office building.
You were looking for Mr. Salazar just now. He's another friend you haven't seen in years.
You also plan on visiting your older brother soon. Dan unfolded his hands. Brandon, who got convicted recently. You only just found out a week ago. We want you to know that it wasn't your fault. Seymour was shaken at how they acknowledged his plans and the guilt he didn't know he was carrying. He surely needed it.